Isley. I'm here in Honolulu with Keller Williams Honolulu, and today I'm with Georgia DeVorss, and she is in the fabulous Colorado Springs, which I was just there a few weeks ago. But anyway, Georgia, thank you for joining us. So,
Absolutely, Kina.
how's Colorado Springs?
Oh, Colorado Springs is beautiful. So I am a native of Colorado Springs. Um, Earlier today, I wanted to sit outside here so they could see Pikes Peak behind me and our beautiful blue sky. But the weather always has other plans here. So for Colorado natives, we like to look at it as it is a variety, and we love variety. But for most people, they call it bipolar.
Yeah, I can change in an instant. It was a little chilly when I was there, but still beautiful, but chilly. That's relative where I come from, right?
Yeah, and I always tell people when they're relocating here, and I have a jacket on now. I always tell people when they're relocating here to dress in layers because early in the morning you need a jacket. In the afternoon, you'll be peeling layers off, and then in the evening, you'll be putting a jacket back on. Our temperatures can fluctuate sometimes about 50 degrees. So there's a big difference.
So wow. So now what's the market in Colorado Springs? My daughter did just do an assumption there. There's quite a few assumptions there, and the gap was relatively small compared to us. She had a 20K gap in her assumption. So that's fabulous for military people.
Oh, that is fabulous.
Yeah.
So the market is kind of all over the board. I am seeing multiple offers on properties that are above 800,000. That has been my personal experience. Properties that are under 600,000 are not moving as quickly. And when you stop to think about it, those would be a lot of first-time home buyers, people entering the market. And so they don't have as much equity in a property, or if they're first-time home buyers, they don't have as many funds available to them so that they could go ahead and jump into the market. So you're not seeing as many multiple offers in that price range.
Wow, that is unusual. So but now, so what's kind of the average price point there then? Is it dependent on area or what
Well,
average?
it's yeah, it's somewhat dependent on area. So we are fortunate because our multiple listing system, they always do an average. I want to say it's setting in the mid 500s right now.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so that's not bad. That's affordable. So what are the primary people that are moving to Colorado Springs?
We are a large military town. We have 5 military bases here. So our market is very transient. Also, our market does not drop as much as other areas in the country for the fact that we are a military town. And so those military people all need a home when they're PCS somewhere new. And it's a beautiful place to live.
Yes. Well, I was there. It is gorgeous. So what are some of the fun things that people can do there?
Oh, there are so many things to do here. So I am a big hiker, and I always suggest to people when they move here to download the Coatrex app because the app tells you what type of a trail it is, shows trailhead, it shows bathrooms, it shows if pets are allowed or if children would be able to hike that area.
What is this app called?
It's called Coatrex. It's Cotrex. Yes. So there's I can walk out my front door, walk across the street, and there are 70 acres for me to hike in.
Wow.
So it's wonderful. I am within probably 3 miles of 4 different trails.
Oh,
So it makes it really nice. A lot of our trails connect. A lot of people that live here are very outdoorsy. So that's one of the things they can do. Another thing, if people have children, there is a a penny arcade. It's located in Old Colorado City. Uh, so some people think that's a different town, but for us natives, we consider that the west side of town. There are also neighborhoods. Some neighborhoods have fitness centers and community centers. There's a couple small lakes. There's one on the east side of town that is a lake that was recently built in Wolf Ranch. There's also one north of me here, about 15 minutes away. It's in the Tri-Lakes area, which is Palmer Lake and Monument, that area of town.
wow. No, I know it was beautiful there when we were there. And you do have the Air Force Academy. We were right across from the Air Force Academy where we stayed at Great Wolf Lodge. So with the grandkids. It's not bougie, but it's fun. But yeah. So what about restaurants and that kind of thing? Is it a foodie place or
Oh, it is a foodie place. So not only are there a lot of great restaurants here, but there are food trucks here.
oh,
And in many of the shopping centers during the summertime, they put on concerts. And some of the food trucks will arrive at some of those concerts. So there's a wide array of fabulous food here. There's a great Vietnamese restaurant in downtown Colorado Springs. There are several Mexican restaurants throughout. One of our favorite restaurants is an Italian restaurant on the west side of town, and it is Paravicini. They have fabulous Italian food. Their sauce, actually, I would have to say beats my sauces. That's
oh.
something that I generally don't say.
So yeah. So what else should people know about Colorado Springs if they want to move there?
Well, if you want to move here, prior to coming here, I always suggest that people start drinking plenty of water so that they don't get high altitude.
Oh,
So that's one of the top things. Yeah, because you can hike up the mountains behind me. There is actually trails to get to the top of the what us locals call the incline. And in Castle Rock, there is also a mini incline. So if you're not inclined to climb all the way up the major incline behind me, you can always do the mini incline in Castle Rock.
oh, so that's probably what I would do. I would struggle with that.
Uh,
Coming from zero to you guys is a lot. But
Yes, and the elevation it varies a lot here. So people will go to the top of Pikes Peak so that they can see it. And Pikes Peak is known as America's Mountain, and you can see the entire city from up there. A lot of people will go up there as soon as they arrive, and I suggest that they let their body acclimate for a couple of days before they decide to go up. They can only stay at that altitude for a short amount of time before they need to come down from that altitude.
yeah. Now, what about investments? If you have an investor, is it a good place to buy a long-term rental, a short-term rental? What's the market there
Well,
for investments?
our short-term rentals, there were some laws that were passed here, so they need to be 150 feet away from each other because there were many complaints, and they have to comply with the number of people per bedroom. So they only allow 2 people per sleeping area.
So if there's an
But
Airbnb next to you, then you can't make your home an Airbnb because it's not
exactly.
oh, that's a good way to, I guess, limit them without taking them totally away. I guess.
Yes. And so, as far as investors go, there's some great deals here. Our average days on market right now are 66 days, which is typically not high because we only have about 3.5 months of inventory. we call it a balanced market when we have 6 months of inventory. But many sellers saw their neighbors' homes sell in a matter of days or weeks or hours. And so they're panicking and they're giving concessions to buyers. So it's a great time to buy in my city. There's some fabulous deals out there.
You need to buy a point, just ask.
That's it.
It's what, I mean, I know strategy wise, I'm building that credit into the pricing because I know it's coming. And I just tell my sellers, they're going to hit you with a point. They're going to hit you with enough to buy down a point. So you got to build it in or be ready for it because it's coming. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And rates are not bad right now. Rates are below 7.
Yeah,
so with
I
rates
know.
below 7, that's a great bargain still.
It's yeah, at a lower price point. Our average is about 1.1. So when you're purchasing $1 million, that's kind of a big payment. But it, I just tell people buy now, refi later if you need to, because you're better off buying than renting. It's your equity. So
well, it is equity, and it becomes the same idea of when people say, "Oh, when should I plant a tree?" Oh, you should have planted a tree yesterday, but if you didn't do it yesterday, today's a good day.
Yeah.
Same thing with buying a house. No sense in paying rent and helping somebody else build wealth. Build your own wealth.
Yeah. So, and there are, I know you have the assumables for the military there.
Yeah.
I said earlier, we talked earlier, my daughter did get an assumable with a $20,000 gap. So that's totally doable. It's not like you have here, we have $400,000 gaps. It's a little harder to do, but, yeah. So, check with her, see if she can find you an assumable and you can pick up that 2.75 rate and then you can keep it, you can become a landlord. So,
yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And rent here is very high. I had a young man who was renting a 1-bedroom. It was basically not even a 1-bedroom. It was more like a studio apartment on the southwest side of town. He purchased a 3-bedroom home from me, and he ended up getting himself 2 roommates. His payment is now less than his rent was with his roommate.
Yeah.
So there's you have to be creative.
So yeah, my daughter that did the assumption, she owns 4 other homes that are rented out using your VA loan. No money out of her pocket. Now the assumption, the 20K did come out of her pocket, so don't beat me up in the comments, but the homes before, nothing out of her pocket.
Yes.
So she, it's totally doable for young military families to build wealth. He's an E6, an E5 when they started buying homes. He's an E6 now with 4 homes and then their primary home. So,
see, that's fabulous. So generally when young military men come here, I can think of 2 families in particular. They were single when they arrived. I sold them a townhome. Then they got married and they have a home. And then their family grew and they have a 3rd home. And one of those gentlemen just PCS to another area, and his children, his older children, are living in their last home that they were living in, and he's renting the other properties out. So he's building fabulous wealth for himself and the next generation before he ever gets out of the military.
Yeah, so it's brilliant. So so if you want to build wealth, you can do it here in Oahu. You can do it in Colorado Springs. They're both beautiful. I've been there. I would probably, if I wasn't living here, I could probably live in Colorado Springs. I did like it. Wow, there's a ton to do here. But it was so great talking with you, Georgia. This has been great. And so this has been Kina Knisley with Real Talk About Real Estate with Keller Williams Honolulu. If you are moving to Oahu or if you're moving to Colorado Springs, reach out and we can get connected. So I will see you guys soon.
Fantastic. Thanks, Tina.
Thanks.